arms are around him, and people are coming after Scheana and she's like, are you kidding me? I'm in Lala too, speaking up. I'm doing my job. This is her job. You have to sign in when it says all cast event, you have to film, just like David and Sarah have told you last season. It's all noise. Everyone's going to film with everyone else when they sign the contract. It's all, I mean, people are, you can say you're not going to speak to someone, you're icing them out of your life. That happens. I ice people out all the time. The older I get, the smaller my circle gets. When you are physically interacting with someone on a daily basis because it's your job, you have no choice. And like Melissa Rivers said recently on a show with me, she's like, you know how many network executives? She said this. I'm not talking to her. I've been in a picture with that, like I haven't liked. Like, this is called work. You have to work with plenty of people that are listening to this at their desks right now in their 9-to-5 job. You have to work with a lot of people you don't like. So, like, I don't know why I mean, good for Scheana for clapping back. I don't know why people are coming after her. She has to work with Tom Sandoval. I do think out of the group, she will be the first person. I mean, Schwartzy is on his side, of course. But I think out of the others that Scheana will be the first. Listen, I've met all these people. Sheena's a very warm, believe it or not, like welcoming. She's not, there's no ego on Scheana. She's a really nice human. So I do think she has that heart to take Sandoval back. I mean, we've talked about this before. It doesn't cut as deep for me. I don't hate Tom Sandoval. I don't hate Raquel. And I don't put Ariana on a platter where I'm like going down on her. And I'm looking up at her. She's on Queen Ariana. I'm over it. I'm actually over it. So I say leave Scheana alone. She's doing her fucking job.
Okay. What do you make about, obviously, like you said, VPR is filming. What do you think is going to happen with Rachel? Her mother now refers to her as Rachel. She's apparently referring to herself as Rachel. She is not filming. She's apparently holding out to play hardball to get a lot more money because the rumor is last season, you talk about pennies, she was apparently making pennies and everybody wants to hear from her. Her family's now spent $200,000 to have her in a mental health facility. So give me the David Yontef crystal ball. What do you think is going to happen?
This one's a tough one, girl. I mean, look, it's like, I talked about this with Melissa. I think two things get to be true. I do think she truly had to go away. I do. I don't think that was all planned or part of like a publicity stunt. But I think there is a team also involved that is like, I mean, how brilliant to change your name back to, I mean, how many of us have a name that we can fall back on? If you want a rebirth, if you want Lala to accept you, and if you want, a Scheana, and if you want Ariana, I'm still predicting. I think one day Ariana and Raquel I'm going to go on record. I think they're going to be friends. I do.
What? There's no way. I mean, I guess unless Sandoval does something really crazy, or they do it solely for the money or the film, but there's no way. I mean, that was a big betrayal. And I do believe Ariana's emotions. I mean, I do think they had huge issues in their relationship and she was sort of checked out. And I'm sorry, like,
maybe not friends, but I think it's going to soften. I do.
Well, it might soften, but I don't know. No way.
I don't know, but I think it's brilliant to have this name. So I think there's look, I don't know. I mean, you can play hardball, but you can't play really hardball. Eventually, they're just going to be like, well, also like with Kathy Hilton in Aspen, it's like at some point the season is going to be 98% filmed. It's like, I don't understand. Like, girlfriend, if you want, listen, this is how Countess Luann was a friend of for a season on RHONY. She wanted money. She held out and they were like, we're on our third episode. And Countess Luann said, oh shit, hold on. So I think, does she really, it's like, I think that's what it goes down to. Like, does she really want to be back on this show? Or does she really want the money? Because if she really wants to be back on the show in the limelight, the train isn't waiting for you. So at some point, she's going to say, we're on episode 9 out of 12. I better roll up my sleeves and show up, right? Because the whole season is going to be, I mean, they're not going to pick cameras, but I mean, they seem to be picking cameras back up for everything. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. This is a tough one.
But wait, is your prediction that she will accept the offer and come back? I do think we're going to see her. I think on this podcast, I don't know, somebody go back and listen because I can't remember 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always said I thought that we were going to get Rachel for like the last 3 or 4 episodes. I thought we were going to see her. I never thought we were going to see her for the whole season, but I did think we were going to see her for that and maybe a big one-on-one, kind of new sit down with Andy. So
I think, listen,
like
I
that
think
she will get paid for that, whatever.
I think, listen, I think you're right. I think there's no way the season's going to come and go. I don't know what the number is going to be. I don't know how it's going to work out. I think somehow we're going to see her on the screen. I do. I think she'll take a little bit less than she wants and they'll pay more than they want. It's like any other negotiation. I think they're going to make it work somehow. I wish I knew the numbers. Do you know what I mean? Like, does she want 500,000 or does she want, 90,000? Like, what is it? Because there is when you say Bethany wants 5 million to come back to Housewives, that will never happen. I don't care what her name is. Bethany with 3 N's and 12 Y's and Frankel. She will never get $5 million. The numbers don't make sense. So I think Rachel wants the right amount of money. Like, you'll take a little less, right? I don't think it's probably, but yeah, I don't blame her. We want to hear from her. She's had the national breakdown in front of the world. She wants money. I don't think that's so bad. And I also really almost believe that she doesn't really want to do the show. But look, I think she likes being there too, right? So I think we're going to see her. I do. I think we're going to see her.
It's always like, what other options do you have? I mean, unless you have a strong calling, if you've never really liked reality television and you really want to be, I don't know, a teacher, like, unless you have a strong calling to do something else, it's almost like, why wouldn't you come back? If you have no interest in reality TV and you'd rather be, whatever, doing a completely different industry, then yeah, it makes sense to just play hardball and who cares. But I'm with you. I think she wants to come back. And I think, I think they are going to end up giving her a lot more.
Here's the thing.
A lot more. We'll see what that is. I mean, if she only made 60 grand last year or 80 grand, I mean, 350,000 is a lot more. Is that really her worth? I don't think so. I mean, she literally she and Tom Sandoval saved that show. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Nobody would have cared. I know you disagree because you were a long VPR fan and you say it was one of the best shows on TV. But as a new watcher, I honestly,
you didn't care.
I mean, I've seen Pornhub videos with more interesting plot. Like, it's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, Pornhub is good, sweetie, but the show was great up until the 2 seasons before Scandal happened. It really was in the toilet. By the way, 80,000, 60,000. I think you're giving Vanderpump salaries way too much credit, sweetie. Okay. I think I've heard like people are on day rates now. I've heard some horror stories, even from, I'm not going to say from which cast member. I heard stuff from like an actual cast member that they're basically on a day rate and they're making like no money.